Welcome back to my rooftop garden. Last time we were here, I talked about tips on how to prepare a decent potting mixture and the different size containers that you need to use according to the size plants. And I showed you that my tomato plants were blooming. Now they're in full bloom, and some of them are even producing some nice tomatoes right now. So today the focus will be on pruning. Now pruning is basically a technique that we use to remove parts of the plant that are unnecessary in the sense that they are taking away nutrients from the plant that is not going into production. So at all times we want the plant to be focusing the nutrients on producing, right? So what we do is we will remove leaves and branches and buds that are not conducive to production. So now I want you guys to take a look at these tomatoes. So based on the size of the plant and the container, the amount of nutrients that the container holds and the size of the plant determines the amount of fruit that the plant can support. Now we want the plant, like a plant size like this, you don't want to have too much fruits on the plant, because what's going to happen is if you have the plant bearing a lot of fruits, the nutrients will have to be divided among them, and they are going to be fairly small, because nutrients have to be divided among them, and the more that you have to divide the nutrients among, the smaller the size of the fruit will be. So what we want to do is we want to limit the amount of fruits that each plant is going to produce. So right now I am going to eliminate some of these blooms, so that I'm going to focus on about probably I'll make about 4 or 5 tomatoes there on this plant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the smallest buds, flowers. Look for the smallest flowers and remove those, because those are the ones that are not really going to become very productive. So we just click that. Alright. Also, I will remove this old branch, this old leaf, because nutrients is also going here, and this part of the plant is already dying, so it's not really being of much support to the plant at this time. So we want to get rid of that. Right. Let's move on to this one. So right here we have what we call a carbondizer. A carbondizer is basically a branch that is not productive, and it's taking away all the nutrients that could be going into the fruit. You want the fruit to be getting most of the nutrients. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the carbondizer. You can use a secateur and the cut. And by the way, whenever you're using secateurs, you must ensure that you sanitize them first. I have sanitized mine before I'm doing any cutting. So you can either use the secateur to cut, or you can even use your hand and just break the stem like that, right? Alright, so for now, I'm not going to do much to this plant, because I don't see enough fruits coming out as yet, so I don't want to over prune. So I will wait a little longer until I see more fruits coming out, then I will prune some more. This one looks lovely as well. And if you guys can notice, come a little closer, you will see some purple color on the leaf. This is actually a phosphorus deficiency. um, I haven't been able to address the phosphorus need of my soil efficiently, so this is what happened. The soil media has run out of enough um, phosphorus, and it's showing deficiency here. But the plant is basically quite healthy, so it's not gonna have much effect on it. But as long as there is something lacking in the soil, then it will show on the plant. They look quite beautiful. They're looking quite beautiful. All right, let's move to this one. Okay. All right, so I'm going to remove some of these flowers because they're not bearing, and we have some here that are bearing, and we want all the nutrients that's going to here to come to the fruits. I'm gonna remove this here. I'm generally aiming for my plants, specifically in this type of container, to produce somewhere between 5 and 6 fruits. So I don't really want a lot of fruits, because the more fruits, the smaller they are going to be in size. All right. So again, I don't see the number of fruits that I would want this particular plant to produce as yet. So I'm going to allow the flowers to bring out some more fruits, and then I will go over and prune